So I paint billboards. Okay, so how I painted this was, okay, like the line that happened to be the canvas separating and reattaching itself. Okay, I used as my line there, as my line there, and then you kind of figure it out. They're not perfect, but when you get back a certain way, okay, you don't notice. So I scribe everything on there. I scribe 2 lines across top and bottom approximate to what I wanted it to be like. Okay, and then basically the same thing. They're box letters. Okay, and then I used a paint stick, to get a general idea, and I marked with a China marker a couple dots across, so then you can get that. Okay, I didn't do those red yet. So now, after that, you figure out where your words are, how the words are, like, do they end almost in the middle? It happens to be. The middle's like right here. So I'm like, okay, a little offset, boom, I put a bar. Okay, and then I'm like, okay, it's going to take, boom, there's my B, because there's half of the word billboard is right about here. So then I halved it. And you could half it again in your head on a piece of paper from a business card. And then, boom. So you just start drawing the letters like the brush. Don't. And then afterward, you'll notice it looks scrubby, but there's a formality going because of the top and bottom lines. Okay, and then at first, I hadn't went far enough. So I had to extend that. Okay, so that was white. So then I went in afterward to show the mistakes by using red. So all those places were white before, like as an example, and a lot of the edges look like that. Look like that. They were crusty. And I had places looking like that in between the letters too. So I covered that up with red, basically to show where I have to touch it up. And now I know that it's going to be looking sweet from a distance, because you're not going to see this before like 40 feet. So no one cares about that. It's how we look at each other sometimes. But that's what you want to do when you're painting signs on the fly. And this message has been brought to you by Freehand Dan.